Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv.
Hey everybody, welcome.
Welcome back. It's been a
welcome back.
we took a little time off. It took a little
gone for surgery, but now I'm back again. You know the rest.
Anyways, anything happened recently in the NBA that you recall? Anything exciting?
No, nothing of note. But if I was to add something, I would of course say that history has been made. Just something light, and you were part of that history too. A Knicks fan, so that's it. Honestly, if I couldn't be at one of these games, it makes me feel really good that you were.
I don't know how to take that. For those of you unaware with the most recent season in the NBA, Ashton Celtics finally won a championship, the first in the last 16 years. Mm-hmm. The first in the history of the show.
Yes. Very big, very, very big moment. And it would have been big for either, of course the Knicks win. I mean, it would, it was a big deal. I mean,
Can you
know.
Can you imagine if this happened back, say 2017 or some shit like that?
In our prime?
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely would have put something through a wall, or we would have put something through the window. Something would have been on the quad.
That's
right?
Facts.
Yeah.
Something would have been out the fourth floor.
There's no way it wouldn't. This is a big deal. I mean, this is, the first championship in Boston since, I guess, the Pats in 2019. So I guess roughly 5 years. But, this one just, I think, hits a little bit different. The Pats were obviously on that winning streak. We had Brady. I was even speaking with Nate McShane, a friend of the show, the other day, and I was like, it's really been kind of more frequently than that, just because, or more recently, because Brady, winning in Tampa Bay also kind of felt like a Pats championship in a way. With Gronk and Brady there. So it feels recently, but honestly, that Celtics, I mean, this is sweet, dude. This is a sweet, sweet win,
It was, I would say it was the one of the least stressful championships I've seen in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
I would say since that last Warriors series where with the whole George Hill missing the free throw, J.R. Smith not knowing the score. Mm-hmm. That was basically the only hardship the Warriors had to go through was how could the Cavs fuck this game up?
Yeah.
Oh, what's
exactly.
what's the policy in the F-bomb right now on this show?
Oh, I mean, we're letting her fly, I think. I don't remember if we were censored or not, but not anymore. I mean, this is especially this episode. This just feels nice to be raw.
Exactly.
I'm actually staring right now at a pennant that I got from Dick's.
Come on, man. All right, I don't know about that one on the show. I don't think we can say that one.
This pennant is going to hang right above my desk. 18-time champion. I made sure we went and got our swag the next day. I got my Celtics championship hat. I got a shirt.
Dude, I missed that.
Yeah,
that was always a good memory. Was going when Modell's was open. See, back when my teams used to be competent, I saw a couple Giants championships, Yankees in 2009, and it was always nice to go to Modell's the day after, clean them out.
Yeah, it's just something about it, and I have an Eastern Conference Finals shirt from the last finals, but luckily I was able to get the real shirt this time. I didn't even bother to get an Eastern Conference Finals shirt this year. I knew I was going to get the real thing.
That's fair.
But yeah, I guess just to recap, the finals in a way, and feel free to chime in anywhere you see fit. Let's just kind of talk about it. But I mean, this was a pretty decided win, and I want to say first and foremost, before anything, this was definitely still an earned title. I know people say that, and I just don't care, honestly.
Yeah, at the end of the day, do you give a shit that I mean, obviously,
I absolutely do not.
Obviously, in the first round, you played the Heat. They were missing Jimmy Butler. Second round, Donovan Mitchell only played 2 games, and the last couple of rounds, Halliburton mailed it in.
Yeah, he was. I think he also missed the last game, or maybe he missed the last two games. I don't recall.
Yeah,
entirely.
I think after it was I think you after the first two games.
Yeah, and I mean, all that being said, first of all, we won in the finals. We won 2 games by 18. We won 2 games by 7. That's the final score, 4-1 Celtics. Before that, swept the Pacers. Before that, lost 1 game to the Cavs and lost 1 game to the Heat in the first round. Look, that's kind of the luxury of the 1 seed is you get to play the worst teams in the playoffs. That's how it works.
Dude, exactly. That I think that's the problem with sports discourse nowadays is that everything has to be discounted. Like last year, I don't even remember who won the chip again. Oh yeah, the Nuggets,
Denver.
and they were like, "Oh, they played the 8 seed Heat. Like that's a joke championship. That's like the worst team to make the finals in who knows how long." Yeah. And then I don't know. There's always some kind of asterisk, and like it's like funny for jokes, like the whole. Like the Mickey Mouse chip, the COVID bubble year, like it's funny for jokes, everything like that. But then there's people that take it 100% serious, and it's like, I don't know, not to sound like a boomer, but like, do you genuinely get excitement out of like talking basketball like that, like trying to discount everything or being like every single like. A bunch of people were like, "Oh, this like Mavericks team didn't deserve to make the finals. Like they suck and this and that." And it was like, no, I mean they really had as good of a season as they possibly could have had. Like Luka cemented himself as like a top 3 player in the league. They picked up some pieces of the finals that at the deadline that definitely meshed together and allowed them to have the finals run. And it's not just like every single team that loses doesn't mean that they suck. It just means that they weren't as good as the team that won.
Yeah, and I think credit to Dallas, and I was saying it, I was definitely saying it while we were playing. I was like, Dallas is a good team, and they will have their chance. I was like, but it's not right now. I was like, this is us, and that's it. And we are a team that fucking paid for it, dude. I mean, they're talking about a lot about like, oh, last time they won was 07-08. I mean, obviously, you remember that trade in 2013, dude. We traded away Paul Pierce, KG, Jason Terry. I mean, and we received picks that essentially turned into Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown and then Derek White. But I mean, like, we traded away our championship team to do that. And then, those picks became that. But also, we had Isaiah Thomas. We took a chance on him. We made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. Wasn't good enough. Traded for Kyrie Irving. I mean, dude, this team has really clawed their way here. I mean, Tatum's and Brown have been in the league about 7 years. I mean, 4 Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, dude, think about this. Think about a team that, and this is why, and I was saying this the other day. This is obviously like this is probably my favorite Celtics team ever, but also this is one of my favorite championships. I mean, think about this narrative: 2022, a young core gets to the finals and faces Golden State and loses. They had been in the Eastern Conference Finals before that. Losing in Game 7 to LeBron, like losing, not ever getting over the hump just to get there. We finally get there in 2022 and kind of get smoked, and we lose on our home floor in 6 games. Okay, that's pretty devastating. The next year, when you have a chance to rebuttal that, you go back with the same team essentially. Maybe you add a piece. I think we had Malcolm Brogdon second time. Like you add some pieces.
Derek White trade.
Yeah. So you have the defensive player of the year in Smart. You have a 6th man of the year in Brogdon, and you don't even get there because Miami beats you in home floor Eastern Conference Finals. Heartbreak 2 years in a row. Do they, does Brown request a trade? No. Does Tatum, publicly, no. Like none of that, dude. There was a head coaching change amidst that. If you remember, Ime was our 2022 coach, and he had that scandal where he ended up leaving the team. But, dude, I mean, they fucking blow up the team of, they trade Marcus Smart, who was very much a heartbeat of this team. And, they take some chances, dude. I mean, like, they trade away Robert Williams and Malcolm Brogdon, and they get Drew Holiday. It's just, they took some chances, and because of that, we were the 1 seed this year, and everybody bought in, and, we won. And this, dude, I'm sure you've noticed, like, in the past few years, it just seems like last few champions, like, okay, Denver, like, Jokic's bid is he doesn't like the NBA or he doesn't care about basketball. That's great. Curry before that was like excited, but it was their third or fourth ring or whatever. I mean, and like you go back, but it's just like nobody's excited to win, and like this team was just so happy to win. Like, Tatum gets clowned on for being corny, saying all this corny stuff, but it's like, dude, he's just excited. Like, would you not be if you finally won the title and you went out and earned it after 7 years? I mean, it just kind of feels good for basketball, I think, that this team won it, in my opinion, because they stayed together. They always said Brown and Tatum couldn't play together. Like, when you draft two like stars, superstars at number 3, how often do they ever play together before requesting a trade? Or, I mean, think about Minnesota. It was like D'Angelo Russell, Anthony Edwards, Cat, like all these stars like getting cycled in and out. And it's like these guys just stuck together and made it work, No,
that's very true. But you remember after 2022, everybody said that they would never be able to make it work with Tatum and Brown, and that they were going to have to trade one of them. That was the whole narrative after like making a finals run, especially with a younger team and everything like that. And that's kind of like when I look at Dallas and people are like, oh, like Dallas sucks. Like this was the best run they possibly could have had. And it's like, yeah, like it could easily be possible that they're never going to be back. But like they have a top 3 player in the world. Like, I mean, Kyrie just cannot play in the city of Boston. It's simply a fact. I witnessed it with my own eyes. But I mean, still incredibly talented, like a very, very solid number 2 option. Like they have pieces in place there. They're like 1 or 2 more acquisitions away, where like the West isn't what it used to be when there was the Warriors and the Rockets and the Spurs, and that one year Minnesota was up and coming and everyone thought they were going to be the next team. Like, oh, the Clippers too.
I mean, dude, I was about to say I would take that old Clippers team versus this new Clippers team any day. And there's a lot more talent on this new one, but that old one, I mean, they could play together. They were kind of vicious. I mean, they're scary. I mean,
they just had Doc Rivers as their coach and Chris Paul.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, like you're saying, the West isn't a juggernaut anymore. Like the 6th seed had KD, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and they got swept.
Dude, they got dog walked. Absolutely dog walked.
Dog walked.
And that's probably two top 15 players in the world, and they got dog walked.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I mean Dallas was the 5th seed, man, and they hung in there. They won in 6 games in their first 2 series. I mean, they beat the Clippers with much more talent. I mean, the top end, of course, of the Clippers is just, I mean, high. Kawhi and Paul George. 6 games there, 6 games to the 1 seed Thunder, who, I mean, I don't think anybody really saw them losing in the second round. I mean, they were pretty good, man. They got a ton of talent, and then the Timberwolves, who I think was kind of the favorite to make it out of the West in general, gets gentlemen swept. So, yeah, they were a mean freaking team. It's just Boston's defense is so suffocating,
dude, and
compared with their offense,
Yeah, I don't know. To me, it's just a testament. Like the parity in the NBA right now is kind of like how we always wanted it to be. Like back in the day when we were making these shows. The Warriors, I mean, they were always the far and away best team. Like, the Cavs would always be good because they had LeBron and Kyrie and whoever else was there. But, like, the parity in the NBA was terrible. And it was, like, there really were, like, 3 or 4. I don't know. I mean, there for the most part, there were, like, I wouldn't even say 3 or 4 teams that legitimately had a chance to win a chip. And it's, like, this year the Celtics were the most dominant team. But, I mean, the 5th seed made the finals this year. Last year, the 8th seed made the finals. Like, to me, it's truly a test. This Celtics championship is truly a testament into like building a team that really works together and gets like all complementary pieces. Because it's like, I don't know, someone like Porzingis, like he could go be a number 1 or 2 option somewhere else, just put up stats, like maybe make the play. And same with Drew Holiday, like he was just, I don't know if you want to say was a number 2, number 3 option, like whatever kind of a hybrid of that. And like both guys just take a step back, but I don't know. To me, they just kind of found the perfect players to play with each other, and everybody made just enough sacrifice. Like Jason Tatum, he could have taken 30 shots a game, and like he was shooting horribly for most of the finals. Before the last game, he showed out. And like even Jaylen Brown, like he didn't put up these like otherworldly percentages. He was just like, all right, you know what? If I hit shots and they fall, that's great. But if not, the whole team was going to try on defense, especially try to stop their top 2 guys, and they stuck with the game plan, and it worked. I think now a whole
think
bunch of other teams are like, all right, like we could have a chance to do that. Like we have work to do, but to get to that level,
oh
but
yeah,
it's like attainable.
I mean, I say it all the time about how Brad. I mean, I think totally deserved GM of the year.
Oh, 100
just for
easy money.
The simple fact that, I mean, dude, remember who was available? Dame was available. I mean, Paul George was being talked about.
Oh yeah,
all these fucking superstars are floating around, and Brad just having such a great basketball mind. Decide like once Drew Holiday gets traded. First of all, honestly, shame on the Bucks for, I don't know, trading a player like Drew Holiday that buys in so much. And his wife came out, I think her name's Lauren.
yeah.
But she was a women's soccer, star. I mean, I think they won a title here. But she was like, dude, we had our roots here in Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is like, all right, well, even though Dame has not been proved to win, and literally Drew Holiday has a title with us, we're going to go trade you to Portland to rot. And Brad Stevens, like within the day, called Portland up and was like, what can we do? Because Brad knows that that's a player that's buying in. Same thing with Kristaps. Like, dude, I'm sure you saw like in the media, like, but he like tore that weird part of his foot, and they asked him if he was going to play, and he literally just said, yeah, like, I'm going to die out there. Like, if I can't. It's just like, dude, I don't know, man. Like, there aren't guys in the NBA that say that. They're just not. Like, he probably really could have done some serious damage. I mean, he played in that game 5. I mean, he was totally injured.
I think he's out like 4 to 6 months right now. Like, I don't think he's supposed to start the season.
Oh, definitely not. And it's like, dude, I was so, and I say this all the time, and you can confirm this about how much I loved Kristaps, because we were watching all those Knicks games, when he was drafted. I loved Kristaps.
Yeah, that was my
we
guy.
watched all those Celtics and Knicks games.
My guy.
Dude, we loved him. And I always say it on the show. Haven't said it in a while, but I love big guys. I've always said that. Always loved Kristaps. And for him to just kind of come out with that attitude and just, pull that defense apart, man, and provide defensive anchor in game 5 is just like, dude, that's how you got the right group of guys. And everybody's coming back. Everybody's on contract for another year, whether or not White signs a contract extension past that. But they asked Tatum about like, oh, the win, you wanted finals MVP. And he was like, dude, I am just so happy that we won. He was like, I don't care. I don't care about anything else. And I was really happy that Brown got that finals MVP and Eastern Conference MVP because he kind of needed that, I think. But Tatum doesn't, Tatum gets the All-Stars. Tatum gets the Subway commercials.
Yeah,
he doesn't need that validation.
He gets the All-NBA first team and the...
Yes. And Brown literally, I mean, you see though, I mean, Brown is he was locked down defense on Luka. I mean, Luka still had 30 a game, but that's Luka. I mean, what Brown was doing to him defensively.
Dude, he was having 30 a game on probably like 24, 25 shots a game.
Yeah. Like, dude, I mean, that guy, if unchecked, would have had 60 a game. I mean, no problem. I mean, dude, I think he was the highest scorer in every game except for game 3 and 5. But, it's I love this team. The blowouts were great, but like kind of just winning those close games. And like I said earlier, like Kristaps was still hurt. Like we still played the entire playoffs without our third best player. And yeah, okay, that's our third best player, and they lost Tyrese. Yeah, okay, it's different. I understand that. But like remember that Kristaps is like a part of the offense. And a part of the defense. He's a huge defensive anchor, but also him being able to step out to that corner and be a perimeter threat is huge for drawing the defense out and allowing Brown and Tatum to drive in. So I mean, there was just a huge piece of the team that we were missing. And I think I don't want to talk about them all day, but I just kind of found it to be very nice. Like you said, to see a team win as a team it should be the model. It shouldn't be, oh, well, maybe, I think that super team thing is dead because Denver didn't do it. I mean, they traded for Aaron Gordon. Like, they didn't want Aaron Gordon anymore. Like, I will, like, Denver did it the right way. They drafted those guys. And when Golden State won actually their previous championship, I wouldn't say they were a super team either. They had freaking Andrew Wiggins, so I think that era of basketball is dead. And I'm excited for, the future here.
No, exactly, and we could definitely talk about that in a minute. I definitely just want, I guess I'll give you guys one last little bit of glazing.
Oh, no, please tell us about the game.
Yeah,
and give us a little glazing.
So obviously, my brother, diehard Dallas Mavericks fan, and we we talked about maybe
shout out Joe Dirk.
Shout out Joe Dirk. We talked about maybe going to a game, because. He was already going to be up for that weekend. We saw a Yankees-Dodgers game at Yankee Stadium. Whatever. We were like, all right, maybe that's Sunday. Like, we could look at the prices. The prices were just, like, ridiculous. But we were like, you know what? Let's pull it. Like, who knows the next time, like, either of our teams are going to be in the finals. Never mind it be, like, on the East Coast. Like, whatever. So we got a train ticket. We bought a hotel. And we made it happen. And obviously, like, it was a very good game towards the very end, and then within like the last minute, it was pretty clear. It was pretty clear that Dallas was losing that game. And
to be clear, that was a 7-point victory, right? Because it kind of went like blowout.
Yeah,
post-game.
It was like the Mavericks were winning early, and then the Celtics they stormed back, and then it was like pretty close for a little while. Like Celtics went on a run to close the half, and then the third quarter was a bloodbath, and in the fourth quarter the Mavs were frantically making a comeback, and then they just had a couple turnovers towards the end, and that sealed it. And then there was the controversial Derek White block, where there may or may not have been a missed foul call, but that's what happens when you have home court. But dude, yeah, I was just it was a stupid it was clearly a foul looking at the replay, but it was a stupid shot attempt. Like Luka had just hit however many shots in a row, and like he tried to take it in on two guys, and it was whatever. But I mean, the atmosphere for the game was great. Like walking, it wasn't my cup of tea, obviously, but walking into the arena, you just like walk through that street, and it was just basically like a sea of green. Yeah, and they had this like bus outside that had like a basketball hoop on each side. They were like taking shots, like there was like a dunk contest going on. There was, I don't know, I'm sure like TV people, like they were like recording out there and everything like that. And what is that, North Station? Yeah, the South Station was the Amtrak one. Yeah, so like you walk through North Station. It was pretty cool. It was kind of similar to MSG, how like you walk you kind of walk around Penn Station, but they just redid it and they made it nice. So it's like, I don't know, it's kind of a cool vibe that you walk like through an entrance.
Are you giving me
into the stadium?
an audio tour of fucking North Station? Or are you telling me about the?
I'm just saying it was nice.
We
it was
got Boston fans on this pod.
Obviously, it's.
I mean, we know.
I'm just saying it was a good atmosphere.
Tell me about the game on the inside.
I don't know, man. Everybody was saying fuck Kyrie and Kyrie sucks basically since before the tip off. Oh yeah, we're like sitting there. They show like a graphic on the screen where Kyrie was like, I don't know, I thought they could have been a little louder, and then the whole arena's like boo, and then it was basically like that anytime he touched the ball.
Did you boo Kyrie?
And I personally did it.
You suck.
But
were you both wearing Mavs gear or just you, or just your brother?
I mean, I wouldn't wear none of that Mavs shit, but I had on a Luka Slovenian jersey.
Jesus. Did anybody beat you up? Hat. They should have fucking beat you up. They should have kicked your fucking ass.
We had there was like two Mavs fans that were in front of us, and then like on each side it was Celtics fans, but the Celtics fans near us were cool. I mean there were definitely some people talking shit and everything like that. We had zip up jackets on the way out, as expected, but we made it out safe. But yeah, it was basically any call that did not go Boston's way, even if it was obvious, there were like people yelling, cursing, like "fuck you," like "get off your knees, you're blowing the game" kind of shit. But I'll give them like no arena will ever be MSG, but it was definitely like a legitimate finals atmosphere. It wasn't like I'm trying to think on where I've been to games. I've been to games in Washington, and there was actually a really nice arena, but like the Knicks fans took that shit over, and like, there were definitely some Maverick fans there. I would say it was probably at least like 90-10 in favor of Boston. But like if there was shit going the Mavericks' way, like they wouldn't, and like there started to be chants or anything like that, that shit would just get drowned out and booed. That's kind of the same thing. Whenever the Knicks play there, there's always a Knicks contingency.
Dude,
And
you know what I miss is just some sort of indication on the court. You know, they used to do the finals trophy.
oh my god, bro, wait, dude, I completely forgot. I'm sorry to interrupt, but I was so mad because I didn't realize. Like I know during the first game, I was watching it on TV. They had like a little NBA Finals presented by YouTube TV. That shit
Dude,
was fake, bro.
crazy.
It I was so mad. It was like the second quarter of the game, and I turned to Joe, and I'm like, "Oh my god, dude, the final shit on the court was fake." But you know what was real was like on the side by the benches, or like the side where the media was and everything. They had YouTube TV logos. There must have been at least 4 of them going down the side. Those were real, and I was like, "There's
Yeah,
no
why are we
fucking
sucking it?
way."
You know what I mean? Like, dude, how hard would it be to just fucking spray paint finals on the floor, you know?
Dude, exactly. They had to like airbrush that shit in. Like I promise you, nobody likes the fucking whatever, like the
Dude.
digital ads on the court. Nobody's moved by that shit, dude. They do it in they even do it like in baseball. Like if you're watching the game, you'll see like I don't know, fucking Home Depot logo like on the pitcher's mound, but they'll make it like white and brown so it looks like it's a part of the game. It's
Yeah.
like shut the fuck up.
Don't
I don't know, man. I'm definitely very tired of
That's like
that
Westworld shit.
getting
You know what I
just
mean?
shoved down our
They're
throat
just
during-
like what's reality anymore? You know? Like
Dude, exactly. Like I again, I'm probably gonna sound like a boomer with this one, but like back in the day when we were growing up, like just all of the build up to the finals and everything like that, and all the commercials for it, it was all about basketball or whatever sport was going on. They would put together some package, and like it would be awesome. They get like somebody cool to narrate it, and like I mean, every once in a while they'll do something like that, but it's always like, oh, fucking presented by YouTube TV, presented by. Oh, obviously they got like DraftKings and FanDuel. They got their names on everything, and then we got betting scandals in the league now. Um, I don't know. Fucking Amazon, and now like the amount of especially in baseball and football now there'll be like nationally televised games that like you can't watch it anywhere else besides Amazon. Like I don't know, man. I'm kind of over that shit. Next year, no matter where the finals can be Portland against fucking Detroit. And I want that NBA Finals logo on the court.
it didn't feel like honestly like I'm watching the games and I'm super like nervous, but it just didn't like feel. I don't know. Like I feel like it needed more. Like they kept doing NBA Finals, but I'm sorry, you have your fucking B team and commentators. Like you have Mike Breen, who is obviously Finals Hall of Fame.
Yeah, the goat.
Credit to you Knicks fans. But then JJ Redick and really Doris Burke, I mean, was just super frustrating to listen to. I did not enjoy the calls from either of them. And honestly, you may disagree. All of the broadcasts felt so like Dallas and Luka focused. It was very like frustrating. Like literally, I would.
If you ask Joe, he'd say
Which
the opposite.
is crazy.
That's what's funny as hell.
I mean, I remember there was a play. They showed this Luka assist to Derek Lively, and it was nice. Probably an alley-oop, probably slam. And dude, I remember turning, just kind of to the room and saying, "We're up by 12," and they're showing Luka highlights. Like what are we doing? But anyway, that just kind of goes with just, I guess, in general, like the marketability, it's the league. I don't know. We try not to tear down the league, but what are you gonna do? But anyway, we talked a lot about the.
I just feel like they need to get people that really care about the game of basketball and not care about making the NBA money in charge, and then that's how we'll get a good product. It's always going to be. Sorry, continue.
I just kind of want to transition here. We will talk more about the Celtics. I mean, I can talk about them for forever, so I want to cut myself off here, but I'm sure we'll kind of allude to that, at a later date. But talking about super teams, I'm not going to say that the Knicks have one, because they definitely don't. But they are creating a team of young, up-and-coming, kind of, could be stars. I mean, you have some all-stars on that roster. You have some great young talent. Not young, but you know what I mean. I mean, you got guys like Josh Hart, Mikal Bridges.
Not old.
So sorry to spoil it, but, with the Mikal Bridges trade as of late, I mean, your starting five is pretty nails, dude.
No, dude, that shit is pretty loaded. That's on this upcoming year. Like, who knows what the hell's gonna happen? Like, anyone can get injured. Like, anything can happen. Like, guys can regress. But like, on paper, this is the best Knicks team that I've personally ever seen. I was 2 years old for 1999, so
which is great.
I'm not gonna try to. Because
it almost feels like you guys have what you feel right now. What I felt like the Celtics just had, like me 1 year ago. Know,
it's like, dude, exactly. It's like, I don't know. I feel like obviously we had the controversial trade. I think it was December 30th, and when it happened, I was devastated. Obviously, we traded Barrett and Quickly, and we got OG Anunoby and Precious Achiuwa. But I mean, the main guy in that trade was OG Anunoby, and I'm kind of just like, I was like, what the fuck, dude? Like, those are like, honestly, probably like my two favorite Knicks of all time, and like,
really, you felt that way?
I don't know. Now having. Oh no, I'm saying RJ and Quickly.
Oh, Quickly. Oh my God, I forgot Quickly was in that trade. Damn, you did did love Quickly. You were always a big Quickly guy. Damn, I forgot about that.
Yeah, dude. Like both of those guys. Like I had I had jerseys of both of those guys. I had like rookie autograph cards. I had a huge Barrett collection. Mm-hmm. I still do. I'll hold on to that. They're both cooking in Toronto. But I don't know. It just kind of felt like we were like Tibbs didn't want to develop players, and they were just like, all right, well, we tried, and we're gonna go try to get a Tibbs focused guy and then see how that works. But I don't know. I was especially pissed because OG was gonna be a free agent. Like, we didn't get any first round picks. I don't know. I just thought, I like, in a vacuum, we definitely gave up a ton of value, right? But I don't know. Like, it could obviously, like, Barrett and Quickly, they can each be, like, multiple-time All-Stars, and it's like, all right, this could look like a shitty trade. But, like, I understand, especially now after having the Bridges move and everything like that, like, I understand that they were like, all right, like, Jalen Brunson at this point is, like, a top 10 player in the world. Like, nobody expected him to have that kind of rise. And, like, once we traded for Anunoby, like, that trio of Brunson, Anunoby, and Julius, they definitely, like, they unlocked something. And I don't know, I get it. And obviously and then we made the Bogdanovich trade. Like, at first, it looked like it was just going to be Grimes for Alec Burks. That was the first report. I'm like, what the fuck? And then I found out we have Bogdanovich, who was a tradable salary, and I was like, all right, I see the vision. And I don't know, that kind of, I guess, reminds me of like trading away Marcus Smart, trading away Robert Williams, where it was like that shit hurt. Like, those were like the heart and soul guys of the team. That's kind of like how I felt. But they were like, all right, we can, I don't know, like, if we wanted to keep doing the developer players thing, like, we would have fired a coach, found somebody different that worked out well, and then it's like, all right, then we have Brunson in our prime, so like, all right, we're gonna get complimentary players.
I still can't believe Tibbs is there, to be honest. I really thought that was the next Knicks news to break. I mean, do you disagree? Or?
Like, I thought, like, not this past season, the season before that, I really thought he was gonna get fired, and then he turned the whole ship around, and like, I don't know, for better or for worse, like, I'm just trying to. I mean, obviously, there's like your Greg Popovich's, like your Eric Spoelstra's, but like it's definitely possible to win without like a top level coach like that. Like Joe Mazzulla's, I'm not gonna say he's like one of the best coaches in the league. Like he's not a liability. He's like fine. You know what I mean? And I mean, Tibbs, you could say by like running players in the ground, like he could be a liability that way. And I mean, some of the injuries were definitely freak injuries where they were non-contact, and other ones you could point to it and be like, all right, maybe it's because this guy was playing 42 minutes a game. That's why he pulled a hamstring.
I think that's absolutely an issue. Yeah.
And I mean, that's always going to be one of my biggest concerns, especially with the Tibbs run team, is that, like, yeah, we have this loaded roster on paper, but it's like, all right, if he's going to be running an 8-man rotation in a random game in January, like, I don't know. I just hope that we have a plan in place. Like, just run a solid 10-man rotation throughout the year. Like, if we have injuries, like, I get it, but because as like if our guys have legs and are healthy come May, June, that's what really matters. But yeah, anyways, it kind of feels like now that it just feels like we have the right complementary pieces, like Bridges and Anunoby. Like the entire NBA is trying to get 3-and-D wings, but like not just like 3-and-D wings. Like back in the day, you had like, I don't know, like Mo Harkless, or give me like another rando.
Jay Crowder.
Shit, I'm trying to come up with someone. Yeah, Jay Crowder. It's not just like your average role player. It's like your guys who can do more. Like Mikal Bridges, if you need him to, like Brunson's out for a game, you need someone to put up 30. All right, he can do that. Like it's like these are the kind of players that like the entire NBA wants, and it's like, all right, now we have two of them. Like a starting lineup of Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Randall, and hopefully we're about to re-sign Hartenstein. I know he can get more money from somewhere else, but hopefully with that, he's able to buy in and take a little bit of a discount. I don't know, man. That shit is loaded. And then we have, like, Josh Hart, who's one of the best role players in the league off the bench. Like, DiVincenzo, another one of the best role players off the league.
You guys have made your, similar to the Celtics, kind of just like a lesser version, I mean, you guys are still the 2 seed, but, like, Mikal Bridges is not an all-star. Like, none of these guys... I don't want to say none, but like Isaiah Hartenstein is not an all-star. But I mean, you throw him in MSG,
but he's like...
and you throw him in a Knicks jersey. Yeah, it's like you got guys that are really. I mean, you have 2 all-stars in Randall and Jalen and
Brunson. Yeah,
but yeah, I think this is a fun team,
dude. And yeah, and another reason I like my whole vision. I was kind of like after we made that trade and I saw how we played last year. Like, my whole vision was that I wanted to get Bridges because, like, you have a player like Julius Randle who's a very good passer for a power forward, right? He gets double-teamed a shit ton, and in the past, it's like he gets double-teamed. It's like, his other help is RJ Barrett, and, like, who else is he giving the ball to? Like, Reggie Bullock, he's not doing anything with the ball. Elfrid Payton, like, he can't shoot, and, like, I don't know, now it's completely different. It's like he's not even the number 1 option anymore. He's the number 2. Like, Brunson's your go-to guy, but it's like, all right, he gets double teamed. Let's kick it in the corner. Ah, shit, Mikal Bridges, like 40% 3-point shooter, like isn't limited to just taking catch and shoot threes. And then on the other end, it's like, ah, shit, another 40% 3-point shooter, OG Anunoby. Like, and then same thing with him. Like, he can do more than just stand in the corner, take catch and shoot threes. Like, he's got a nice little in-between game, like great off ball. Say with Mikal Bridges, like one of the better mid-range shooters in the league. Like, I don't know, we got a bunch of guys who can do a bunch of different shit. As of right now, we still have Miles McBride, we still have Mitchell Robinson, both of them on like team-friendly deals. I don't know. I think right now, if you look at it, correct me if I'm wrong. I think obviously like the Celtics, they just steamrolled their way to an NBA title, 16-3 in the playoffs. Like they have a legitimate big 4, like I mean borderline big 5. Derek White, arguably the best role player in the league. Like Al Horford, he's old, he's bald, but he's old, fantastic at what he does. Yeah. But Celtics obviously top team in the league right now. I personally, this could be my bias showing. I think the Knicks are second. I think especially if we're able to bring back Hartenstein and we really have like a complete rotation and maybe like, I don't know, I kind of want one other big man just because of the amount that like Mitchell Robinson gets hurt and Like when Julius went down, we didn't really have a backup power forward last year. I just want somebody who could shoot it a little bit, like slotting in at the 4 and the 5. Like doesn't even need to always be in the rotation, but is like the 10th guy. And I don't know, I could be wrong. Like obviously, like the Bucks still exist. They still have arguably the best player in the world. Like same thing with the Nuggets. They still have Nikola Jokic, probably the best player in the world. Like Mavs just went to the finals.
Yeah,
Like
I think you were basically a game 7. I don't even want to say collapse. I mean, the Pacers just had like their best game ever.
it was, dude. It was a fucking Mickey Mouse game. Like good for them. Like they earned it. They played better than us. Like they came back in the series. We were up 2-1 or 2-0. Yeah. I mean, I think like if we have our team right now and like the Pacers, they can get Benedict Mathurin back. I don't give a shit. I think if we play a playoff series right now, everyone gets healthy. The Knicks win that shit in 5. I personally am not concerned with the Pacers going on. I think I don't know who do you think their best player is?
The Pacers or the Knicks?
Yeah, the Pacers.
I mean, I do think it's Tyrese.
Like, all right, to me, like their most talented player is Tyrese, but I don't know. He's super weird to me. Where like their home games, like Tyrese Halliburton, he played like an all-star, like borderline superstar, was lighting it up from 3, like all these flashy passes, and all of a sudden he gets on the road and dude has like 6-point game, like only takes like 10 shots, like
Well, I think
9.
he's still young.
Game. I don't know, man.
I mean, I think he has been an all-star, but he's still a young guy, and I think.
Yeah, it's just super. He was like a part-time superstar, like something that I've never.
He definitely
really
fell off
seen like
after
that
January. I remember that being a conversation. Also, I think it's different, honestly, when you play in somewhere like Indiana. I mean, your home games are, mid-loud, but not very loud. And then you go on the road and you play in somewhere like MSG, and you're not used to playing in somewhere like that environment. I think that's a luxury that we have. You guys obviously playing in MSG.
Exactly.
Boston's a very loud city in general. We're used to playing in loud places in general. So they're probably not even getting cheered loud. So imagine getting booed loud. I think that's a factor.
Dude, and that's what pissed me off about Game 7. I was like, dude, really, like the one fucking game on the road you showed up was this.
I don't know. You guys handled Philly. You
anyways.
handled you handled I don't know, essentially allegedly a hobbled Joel Embiid. But that team is really built around him. I don't know. I think you guys have a lot of cooks, but I think it's very much the Boston model, like I said. So I can't really knock that. I think probably, in my opinion, standings next year, probably 1, 2, 3 is probably Celtics, Sixers, maybe the Knicks, maybe the Bucks. I don't know.
You're putting the
I think
Sixers
they're going to figure it out. I think they're going to figure it out next year, though.
I just don't think the Embiid's a fantastic player and everything like that. I don't think they have enough.
I think they get it this offseason, though. I think they're getting something.
They had that's actually a perfect segue is the offseason now. They had Paul George rumors, like they had Zach LaVine rumors. I don't think Zach LaVine really moves the needle that much anymore. Like, I'm not sure, because really, like the whole process was kind of a sham. Like Ben Simmons, like he was great for like 2 years, and then he doesn't want to play basketball anymore, and like obviously he has injury problems too. But like Markelle Fultz, he got hurt and then he forgot how to shoot a basketball. Like Dario Saric, he might have had an injury in there, but like I don't know, he kind of peaked like his first 2 years, and I don't know, they didn't. And Tyrese Maxey really saved their team because James Harden's washed. Like them actually getting anything back for James Harden was a fantastic W, but I just don't know. Like they have cap space, but I don't know who's coming that's going to save this team.
I think that's fair. I am forgetting that they went through Jimmy Butler and James Harden and freaking Ben Simmons. And I mean, they really have.
Oh yeah, really dude, and like Tobias Harris is, like the Tobias Harris, like his max contract is finally coming off the books.
I hate to just sound like that guy, but I know, and I really do feel like Boston is number one just because the entire team's returning. But I don't know who's the clear number 2. and I would like to say it's you.
I don't know.
But I don't know that I truly feel that. I guess I just want to say Milwaukee as a default.
I feel like that's the other team that I feel like not that many people are talking about. I guess like writing them off, but I mean like Giannis was injured in the playoffs this year.
I'm sorry,
and,
but that guy is a
I mean,
pansy.
Lillard wasn't bad.
He should have played. I don't think the injury was that serious.
He didn't, but I think I think the whole thing where they fired their coach and then they brought in Doc Rivers
Yeah, they're
was
idiots
fucking
for that.
stupid.
They idiot.
Doc Rivers is just not a good coach of the modern NBA anymore. Like, I mean, you can argue whether he was a good coach to begin with, and he had a super team in 2008, and like legitimately four future Hall of Famers.
Kind of like the Celtics team.
Like whatever you can.
Dude, how many from the Celtics are making the Hall of Fame?
There could be.
I mean, Drew Holiday's in there.
Probably
Drew
4.
Holiday's fucking making the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. I think, dude, he's got rings with 2 teams he's in. I mean, like Brown and Tatum. Like,
Al's making the Hall of Fame, dude.
I feel like, dude,
I mean,
I think he is.
2
I think
fucking
he is.
NCAA titles in Florida, a championship on the Celtics where he was a legitimate contributor, like absolutely a real piece.
Dude, absolutely. He did.
You know, he was
man.
not a Blake Griffin. He was not, trying to ride a bench, and dude was fucking working.
Dude, he was like essentially like, I don't know, like I would say his level of play was kind of like Draymond's level of play the last time when they won a chip 2 years ago.
I think that's fair. I think that's very fair.
Like maybe not as good defensively, but like knocked down from the corner.
He was actually that first game where I think Luka was like 1 of 9 or something when Al was guarding him. But you know how he knows that he did good is because he's coming back for another year. Like a lot of dudes that are 38.
Oh yeah, dude. I was gonna wonder if he was
a
gonna
lot of dudes that
retire.
are 38, win a title, they go out and they're done. But he was literally like, "Yeah, I'll run it back." Give me I'm gonna give you a name. I kind of want to do a lightning round here because there are a lot of free agents. I'm gonna tell you the team they're on, the current team, and then you tell me where they're going, and I'll answer right after you. Just try not to think about it. Just try to let it rip. Tyrese Maxey is on Philly. Is he re-signing?
Yeah, I think he'll get whatever the max is, like 200 something mil. I think.
LeBron, Lakers.
Yeah, obviously. So Bronny just got drafted 55th today. So if he went somewhere else,
It's got to be a package deal.
I don't even know.
Honestly, I wouldn't want to play with Bronny either, though. DeMar, Chicago Bulls.
Oh shit! If you have your answer, sorry, let me pull up the.
No, I almost just think if we should do a stay or go kind of thing because I don't know where the hell he's going.
He has to leave, dude. The Bulls have nothing.
They're in
the
there.
Bulls have
They're
nothing.
there in their imploding
team
era.
sucks.
You know what I'm saying?
I think. I don't think this is going to move the needle that much, but I'm going to say the Cavs.
It's fun. He's a very similar player to Donovan Mitchell, though. That'd make me nervous. He does not help out Philly. I'm trying to think of another team.
Oh, dude, I just realized I typed with the keyboard. Yikes. All right, anyways, continue.
No, I think he goes. I think Chicago's totally selling. Paul George, the Clippers. He's 34, dude.
I know. There's a lot of Warrior smoke, and
I don't
know. I guess right now I'm gonna say like the Warriors kind of make sense because they didn't get like when they had those really good draft picks, like they had I don't know, like 3 or 4 like lottery picks. Like they didn't get a good enough young core for that to be like the next team. So they're like, all right, we're gonna try to win one more like while we still have Steph. I'm gonna say Golden State.
I'm going to say that he stays just because he's just not moving the needle anywhere. It really is too bad. I mean, we're at the end of...
I just think it's because of the fact that he's 34.
I mean, we're just at the end. I mean, dude, Drew Holiday is like fucking 32, 33, and he was just the starting point guard, I mean, on a championship team, so...
Like, if Paul George wants to lower his status, like maybe be like a third option somewhere, like take a little less money, but like he's making 48 mil. He wants a 4-year max
I
extension.
mean, these people
like,
are
I don't know
just,
that shit.
and that's why they just won't win. I'm sorry. We are at the end of an era. Obviously, LeBron probably retiring soon. Curry, KD, all those guys kind of falling off. I mean, even Paul George, Kawhi, Russ. I mean, like those guys are obviously falling off, and it would probably hurt him. But dude, if he just took 20 million and just went and slotted in Golden State, sat in the corners, shot threes, and played defense, like he could win a title. I just think a lot of these guys don't really care about that, and it really, you know, and I hate to just keep referencing them, but I mean that's why they aren't winning. Like, because I mean, like the Celtics are winning because those, like you said earlier, those guys are willing to come out and do that. Like, they asked Al to come off the bench, and he was like,
That's
"Yeah,
like-
I don't fucking care." Like he's been, you know, like he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna win."
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the Knicks haven't won shit yet, but it's like a Jalen Brunson's about to line up and sign a cheap extension this summer. Like Julius Randle already signed a team-friendly deal. I mean, Bridges is on an insanely team-friendly deal. Like Mitchell Robinson is making like Dwight Powell money.
It's just that.
I don't know. It's like, I mean, OG obviously just signed for a large amount of money, but it's like when the whole rest of the team made these sacrifices, and it's like, all right, I'm the one who's like the unrestricted free agent. Like every fucking team is gonna be after me. Like, all right, I'll take my bag, but it's like there have to be some people making sacrifices.
And I think it really just also comes down to a role thing. Like Kristaps, like you said, dude, he could have been the second option on somewhere. He could have went and got 25 something, 30 maybe million somewhere. I mean, he had a pretty healthy season this year. Like, but he just didn't. He was like, yeah, dude, I'll just come here and be like the third best guy. Like they always say, like anything you do, it's like you want to be the, you want to be the dumbest guy in the room. You want to be the worst guy in the room. It's like he's like, yeah, dude, I'll just go there and not be the best guy and totally win a championship. So, Miles Bridges, Hornets, 26-year-old, is he staying or is he going?
I feel like the Hornets want to move past that. They just have, I don't know. I feel like the Hornets are just not a very good franchise right now, and just the absolute PR nightmare that is Miles Bridges. It would make sense to just let him go. I think, I don't know. I feel like the only teams that are going to be desperate enough to pick him up would be somebody like Phoenix, who has no first round picks coming up and is in absolute cap hell, and are like, all right, we have a mid-level exception, like we'll sign you. Like, I don't really. I'm gonna say Phoenix. I just think at this point, it's hard to integrate him into a new locker room, and they're just like, yeah, like we all saw this video of you literally beating your girlfriend like unconscious, like in front of your child, and being like, yeah, we're just gonna allow you in our locker room and like be cool with that. Like I just don't really see that. I think like it would have to be a team that's in like such a bad spot that's like, all right, well, I don't know. Personally, like if I were running a team, I would not want him on my team. But
last guy here, kind of interesting.
I don't know if this is gonna be your guy, but I have one guy I wanted to ask you.
No,
you go first.
Yeah, it was Clay.
I figured, but I just like wanted to.
I love my boy Clay.
I forgot.
Yeah, man, I don't know. I think he stays. I know there's a lot of shit talking about like, him following the Warriors, but it's just like, dude, it's the same thing with Paul George. It's just like, bro, you just gotta know that at 34, like if he were to take a fucking 4-year deal or 5-year deal, I mean, you're looking at being like 38, 39, like making 50, 60 million.
Like you're going to be hated by whatever team you're on because they're going to be like, we cannot get rid of this contract.
I don't know. Like I'm all for like get your money, but then don't say, oh, we're out here competing for a championship. Like you just have to be like, yeah, I'm just literally making money, which is fine. But you need to kind of be upfront about that and just almost tell the fans like, hey, I'm going to do my best, but we're probably not going to do it because we can't afford anybody. Yeah, I just think that's crazy. Like I said, I mean, you don't have to take a pay cut. Like these NBA owners are billionaires, but you just have to understand that there is a cap. It's not baseball. There's structure. So yeah, I think he'll stay Warriors, but I mean, they're not. And it's too bad because if he was willing to just take $25 million, still so much money. But that's the thing, man, is they won't take less than what they have. Like, I'm not talking take a veteran minimum. I'm just saying, like, hey, instead of making 50, why don't you go out and make 30 or 25, you know?
Dude, I was going to say, if he made like 15 to 20 somewhere, he could be like a nice fourth option. Like, I know there was talk of him going to the Magic. I feel like it doesn't make sense for him to go play with a bunch of kids. Like, what the fuck is that going to prove? I don't know. Like, say that him and the Warriors are like, all right, we're not going to make this happen. He signed with the Bucks, and he just takes catch and shoot threes from Dame and Giannis for an entire season. Like, I feel like something like that would be fire.
Dude, I don't know. Either way, man, we have a good season ahead of us here. I mean, thanks for doing this kind of recap here. Pleasure as always. Thanks to everybody for listening.
Absolutely, we appreciate it. We hope you guys didn't forget about us after all this time.
Well, yeah, it was a pleasure as always, and we'll see you again next time.
Sounds good. Adios.
Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv. Rock and Jouv.